minutes. About the first one, on Monday, we have talked about global or absolute extremum. Global, I mean the extremum at all of interval. Okay, yeah? We usually consider two interval, that is closed and bounded interval, and not closed or not bounded interval. So if I have a closed and bounded interval, so the extremum of this closed and bounded interval, like this, a comma b, a and b should be a real number. It cannot be infinity or minus infinity. It's just a real number. A and b is included. So if I have a function that is continuous on a closed bounded interval, so the maximum and minimum must happen. Okay, they will both attain at critical number or endpoint of interval. What is critical number? Critical number is a critical number or critical point is either a singular point or a stationary point. Stationary point is a point where x such that f prime x is equal to 0. And a singular point is point x such that f prime, that is the derivative of f with respect to x, doesn't exist. Okay, and the endpoint. Don't forget, you have to check at the interval. Okay, such as like this, if the stationary point is x equals 0, x equals 0 is not included because we just have to look at interval 1 and 3. Okay, this one, how to look at the extremum. But on an interval that is not closed or not bounded, not closed, that means an open interval like this, or a not bounded interval like this one to infinity, you can have absolute minimum, you can have absolute maximum, you can have both, but it is not guaranteed. It is not guaranteed. Yeah. If I have a closed and bounded interval, the maximum and minimum is guaranteed, but on a not closed or not bounded interval, that continuous function can have a maximum, or can just have a minimum, or can have both maximum and minimum, but it is not guaranteed. Yeah. This is how you do it, and we talk about the marginal analysis. What the main result that we discuss here, that the average cost is minimized when the marginal cost is the same as average cost. We can change the cost with the profit, revenue, and so on. Okay. And the last part, we talk about the maximum profit. If PQ, the profit is given by the revenue minus the cost, And how do I get the maximum of profit? It must be a stationary point. So P prime Q should be equal to 0. Then R prime Q equals C prime Q. This is the one. This means that Q should be a stationary point of P, stationary point. And this one, maximum, so it should be concave downward. Maximum, so it should be concave downward. Okay. So to be concave downward, P double prime Q should be less than 1. So R double prime Q minus C double prime Q should be less than 0. Okay. And you have R double prime Q should less than C double prime Q. Okay. That is what we talked about yesterday, and we will going to proceed with the elasticity of demand. Okay, for those of you who came from social science, this is not this is just a review. Yeah, this is just a review. So the elasticity of demand is defined as the ratio between the percentage change in demand and the percentage change in unit price. That is EPQ. EPQ is delta Q divided by Q divided by delta P divided by P. Don't forget, delta Q divided by Q is percentage of change in demand, just like this. So if you let me see, if you buy something if you buy something for maybe $100,000, okay, you buy something of $100,000 and you sell it by $110,000. Okay, you have the profit is 1,000. Yeah, the profit is 1,000. How do I get the? How do I know the percentage of the profit? The percentage of the profit is given by 1,000 divided by 100,000. The same, yeah. If I have this one, if you look at this, this is delta Q divided by Q. This is the delta change, the change in price, 1,000, divided by the original price, that is 100,000. So I have the percentage of the profit from the price that we buy. Okay, yeah? From the price the buying price, I have the profit. The percentage profit is the change in price divided by the price, the original price. Okay, so that's why we usually look at this delta Q divided by Q is a percentage change in demand. The same of this is the percentage change in unit price. So I can look at this as this. Okay, yeah? P divided by Q times delta Q divided by delta P. When delta P goes to 0, don't forget you have this one. So you have, maybe you have this is Q is a function of demand of the unit price. So what does mean the slope here? So it means that if I change, this is P, this is Q. If I change one unit, it will increase by the derivative, yeah. This is D prime P. If you change in one unit, it will rise by D prime P. Okay, yeah. So when delta P equals to 0, when delta P equals to 0, delta Q divided by delta P, delta Q divided by delta P will give you, when delta P goes to 0, will give you the derivative of dQ dP. Okay, yeah? The same as if I have delta Y divided by delta X. When delta X goes to 0, this will give you the slope of tangent line, that is dy dx. Okay, yeah? The same, if I have the function is Q function of P, Y function of X, when delta P goes to 0, when delta X goes to 0, this will give you the slope of tangent line Y as a function of X. This will give you the slope of tangent line Q with the slope with the respect to P. Okay, yeah? This one is the same. This one is the same. So in general, I can have this one, P divided by Q times dQ dP. What is dQ dP? Is the derivative of Q, the function, this demand function, with respect to P. Okay, yeah? Okay. So what is the meaning when I have the elasticity of, maybe I have, okay, yeah. At certain times, the elasticity, the demand, when the unit price of a certain commodity of some goods, when the unit price of some good is $100, maybe at certain time when the unit price of some good is $100 and the demand is maybe 300 units. Here is this. Okay, at certain time when the unit price of some good is $100 and the demand is 300 units, the elasticity of demand is maybe -5, -5. What does it mean? It means maybe -1, yeah, -1. Just let this -1. So this means it means if we increase, don't forget, this is a percentage increase divided by percentage unit price. Percentage increase in unit price, percentage unit in demand. Don't forget this one. Percentage demand increase in demand divided percentage increase in unit price. So if I have delta y divided by delta x, what is this? If the slope is 3, what does it mean? If I go x by 1 point, it will increase delta y by 3 point. Okay, yeah? This one, if delta y divided by delta x is 3, the slope of a line maybe. If I increase x by 1, the y will increase by 3. Okay, yeah? This one is also the same. If I increase the unit price by 1, increase delta x by 1, it will increase the demand by this number. Okay, so this one, if we increase the unit price by 1%, then the demand will increase by -1. Increase by -1, it means decrease by 1%. Okay, yeah. So if we increase the unit price by 1%, 1% from what? 1% from $100. Then the demand will decrease by 1%. 1% from what? 1% from the original demand. 1% unit price of what? From the original unit price. Okay, yeah? This means let me see. Kafilah Savana Al-Dafa.
Yes, sir.
Okay, Kafilah Savana Al-Dafa. The elasticity, this one, okay, the elasticity of demand is -1. So if we increase the unit price by 1%, then the demand will decrease by 1%. This means if we increase the unit price to $101, what happened to the demand, Kafilah Savana Al-Dafa?
It will decrease.
Unit price $101 to $101, it means, what does it mean? It means I increase 1% of 100. 1% of 100 is 1. So if I increase the unit price into $101, what happened to the demand?
It will decrease.
Okay, how far that it will decrease? Then the demand will decrease. How many units? The demand.
1%.
1% of
$101.
100% of 300.
Oh, I see. Sorry.
Because the demand is 300. So 1% of 300 is 1% of 300 berapa ya? 3 ya. So it will decrease to 300 minus 3 unit. That is 297. Okay, yes. Do you get this, Kafilah Savana Al-Dafa?
Okay, I understand, sir.
Okay. Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Sir.
Kinanti Ayu Larasati. Kinanti Ayu Larasati. Kinanti Ayu Larasati. Kinanti. Kinanti teh kemana sih? Muhammad Bayu Nugroho Aji.
Yes, sir.
Muhammad Bayu Nugroho. At a certain time when the unit price of good is $100 and the demand is 300 units, the elasticity of demand is -10. What does it mean?
It means if we increase the unit price by
Calm down, just don't. If we increase what? Muhammad Bayu Aji.
by
Bayu Nugroho Aji. If we increase
by 1%.
what?
Price? The unit
The
price?
unit price, okay, very good. If we increase the unit price by 1%, okay.
The demand will decrease by 10%.
Very good. Then the demand will decrease
by 10%.
Very good. Thank you. Muhammad Bayu Nugroho Aji ya. Bayu Nugroho Aji. By 10%. Very good. Very good. Muhammad Revi Hadiansyah.
Yes, sir.
Muhammad Revi Hadiansyah.
I'm here.
Okay. This means if we increase the unit price to let me see 1% of 100 to $101, then the demand will, what happened to the demand?
Increase by 30 units.
Increase or decrease?
Decrease.
Decrease, yeah. Decrease by
30 units.
How do I know? Oh, okay. Will decrease by 30 unit, yeah. Very good.
Yeah.
Thank you, Muhammad Revi Hadiansyah. Thank you. So will decrease by 30 units, or will decrease into 270 units. Okay, yeah. Don't forget the demand function is Don't forget the demand function is a decreasing function. If you increase the unit price, the demand should be dropped. Okay, yeah. If you have the unit price getting pricey, the demand will getting lower and lower. Okay, yeah. That is the demand function. Okay. This one is okay. This one is okay. You have already know this. This is the classification of elasticity of demand. So if I have EP is less than -1, the demand that commodity is called elastic. If it is from -1 to 0, okay, we usually in general, if we increase the unit price, it usually decrease the demand. Are there any condition in economy such that if we increase the unit price, the demand will go up? Are there any of this in the economy, in the market? I don't know if you have or if you have that kind of condition, yeah. But in general, EP is negative. Okay, yeah. If you increase the unit price, the demand will drop. Okay, yeah. So, but at some books, EP can be positive also. So if I have in this course, we just consider the negative EP. So we don't look at this one, yeah. We don't look at this one. We don't look at 0 to 1. So when EP is less than -1, we usually call elastic. The demand is elastic. When EP from 0 to -1, we call inelastic demand. When EP equals -1, we usually call that unit elasticity. Why does we classify this? Because of this. Because we consider EP is this one. This is negative. Okay, yeah. If we revenue is P times P times Q, both of this is the function of P, the function of unit price. I can do the derivative of this using implicit differentiation, and I have I have this Q times 1 plus this, and this is the elasticity of demand, and this is elasticity of demand. So if the elasticity of demand is less than -1, let's say -10, so I have 1 minus 10, so it will be negative. Q is positive. Positive times negative is negative. So how revenue change with the unit price is negative. What it means? When I increase the unit price, the revenue will drop. The revenue will drop. So if you have elastic demand of a commodity, the unit, if you increase the unit price, the revenue, the revenue will decrease. The revenue will decrease. And the same, I can do the same technique. If the demand is inelastic and if the unit price is increasing, the revenue will increase. Okay, yeah? And when the demand is unit elasticity, then the unit price and the unit price is increasing, the revenue will not change. So why do we classify this? Because the effect on the revenue, because on its effect to the revenue. Will the revenue will decrease, increase, or not change at all? Okay, yeah? So if we look at what the demand is inelastic, like maybe EP is from 0 to -1. Maybe let's say that minus a half. E is minus a half. So if I change the unit price, by -0.5%, by 1%, if I increase the unit price by 1%, it will decrease just a bit, just -0.5%. Okay, yeah? The increase is not significant. This is like I say to you, maybe daily routine needs, like I say, yeah, maybe toothpaste. If I increase the toothpaste price by 1%, the demand, yeah, will just decrease a little. So when I'm talking about the inelastic demand, we are talking about commodity we usually use it daily. But for elastic demand, the commodity is usually something that is pricey, such as maybe the price of a house. If I increase the price of a house by 1%, increase the unit price of a house, the demand will decrease a lot. Cannot buy them. Okay, so when the commodity is pricey, you will usually look at this as an elastic. Daily routine needs commodity, we usually have the demand usually is inelastic. Okay, yeah? Let's look at the example here. The first one, the demand of certain goods of commodity, the demand for every unit price P dollar is given by this. Okay, yeah. So when P is 1, what is the demand? The demand is 100 minus 1, so 98 units. When P is 2, so the demand is 100 minus 2 minus 4 minus 6, so 94 units, and so on. Okay, yeah. The first one. Find the elasticity of demand as a function of P. So, the first one, the elasticity of demand, don't forget, always use a full sentence. The elasticity of demand is EP. EP is, I can use the formula first, P divided by Q times dQ dP. No. Lagi. P divided by Q times dQ dP. Okay, yeah. So P is always P. Don't forget the function is always a function of P, not Q. So Q should be changed. What is Q? Q is this. Okay, yeah. I have give a simple example at my video. This is more complex, yeah. This is more complex. But if you have watched the video, this is, yeah, just the same, just the same. So times dq dp. What is dq dp? The derivative of q with respect to p, that is minus 1 minus 2p. Okay, and so I can simply simplify this into this one. So you have 100 minus p squared minus p squared. And what happened to this one? This will give you p times minus 1 minus 2p. Okay, yeah. I can just get out minus, yeah.
Sorry, I have a question.
Yes. Questions.
Sorry, can you explain why is it minus 1 minus 2p? How do you that?
Very good. Thank you for your question. So who is this?
Agnia.
Agnia, this is the derivative of q with respect to p. The derivative of this, Agnia.
Oh, okay.
The derivative of this is 100. The derivative is 0. The derivative of minus p is minus 1. The derivative of minus p squared is minus 2p.
Okay.
Don't forget dq dp is the derivative of the demand with respect to the unit price, and the demand is given by this function.
Right. Okay, I see. Thank you.
Okay, you're welcome. You're welcome. So I have EP, the elasticity of demand, as a function of P. That settles. What about number 2? Okay, yeah. The elasticity of demand, remember, full sentences. I just... Okay, yeah. The elasticity of demand when the unit price is $2. How do I get this? Let me see. Sabina Maharani, were you there? Are you there? Or asleep? Sabina. Sayu Wulandari Amrita Dara. Sayu. Wulandari Amrita Dara. Your mic is on. So the elasticity of demand when the unit price is $2. How can I get this? Sayu Amrita Dara. Lama. Loh, kok si Siti tiba-tiba hilang? Sorry, my mic is broken. Oh, okay. Sabina, make sure you have your mic is not broken at the exam. Okay. Sorry. Who should I choose? Who should I choose? Abu Bakar sudah, Anggi sudah. Brisa Danira Nadia Himawan. Brisa Danira Nadia Himawan.
Yes, sir.
Yes, Brisa.
Yes.
How can I get the elasticity of demand when the unit price is $2? What should I do?
Substitute the P with 2.
Very good. Very good. Thank you, Brisa Danira. What's your name? Brisa Danira Nadia Himawan. Thank you. Thank you. So I just substitute E 2. So you have minus 2 times 1 plus 2 times 2 is 4 divided by 100 minus 2 minus 2 square is 4. So I have minus 5 times 2 is 10 divided by 100 minus 2 minus 4 is 94. Okay, yeah. Okay, yeah. So this means when the unit price is 2 and the demand is, when unit price is 2, the demand is 94 and the demand is 94. If I increase the unit price by 1%, it will decrease the demand by 10 divided by 94%. Okay, yeah? It's okay. And you know this? Okay, yeah? And okay, if we increase, what kind of elasticity is this? What kind of elasticity of this? If I can look at this, E2, this must be less than 0, yeah? But is this less than minus 1 or less than minus 1 or greater than minus 1? Firjatullah Zuhdi Alam. Firjatullah Zuhdi Alam.
Yes, sir.
So minus 10 divided 94 is less than minus 1 or greater than minus 1. Kurang dari minus 1 atau lebih besar dari minus 1? Minus 10 divided by 94. This is minus 1, yeah? To the left of minus 1 or to the right of minus 1? Minus 10 divided by 94. Yeah, this is the same as what? Minus 1 over 9 lah. Or, yeah, what? Minus 1 over 10 lah. 1/10. So this is less than minus, greater than minus 1 or less than minus 1?
Less than minus 1.
Less than minus 1, this one, okay, yeah? This one or this one, sorry, to the left or to the right of minus 1? Minus 1 over 10, to the right or to the left of minus 1? Which one is it? Minus 1 over 10 is in this one, or minus 1 over 10 is in this one? Left on or right of minus 1? Firjatullah?
Left.
To the, no. You should have to the right, Firjatullah, because this is minus 0.1, means minus 0.1. Don't forget, this is minus 1, this is 0, this is minus a half, and so on. Okay, and this one is minus 1/2, minus 2, and so on. Okay, yeah, Firjatullah, yeah?
Okay.
Okay, so we have this between minus 1 and 0. So if you have the elasticity, the demand between the elasticity of demand between minus 1 and 0, the demand is called what, Firjatullah? Between minus 1 and 0, the demand is called elastic, inelastic, or unit elasticity. This one, elastic, inelastic, or unit elasticity. This one. Which one? Firjatullah, elastic, inelastic, or unit elasticity? This is between minus 1 and 0, or this is less than minus 1?
Elastic.
Elastic. No, Firjatullah, elastic is less than -1, to the left of -1. If to the left of -1, you should have -2, -3, -4, -1.5. So -0.1 is located on the right of -1. So between -1 and 0, isn't it, Firjatullah? Can you follow me, Firjatullah?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so this is between -1 and 0. So you should have this one. So it should be inelastic, yeah? One more, Firjatullah. So if I have the demand is inelastic, what happened to the revenue if I increase the unit price? If I increase the unit price and the demand is inelastic, so the revenue will increase, decrease, or not change at all?
Increase.
Very good, very good. Okay, ya. Thank you, Firjatul Alam. Zuhdi Alam. Thank you, ya. So it is between this and -1. Sorry. This means this means the demand, just like Firjatullah say, the demand is inelastic. This means the demand, and if we increase the unit price, from the dollars, the revenue will decrease, ya, increase, ya. Okay, ya, it settles, ya. Okay, the revenue will increase. So when the unit price is $2 and the demand is 94 units, if I increase the unit price from $2, the revenue will increase. The revenue will increase. Okay, ya. Let's see number 3. Why is it not automatically? The revenue. So the second one, the same. The elasticity of demand when the unit price is $8. The same. Don't forget, use the full sentences here. Sepanjang jalan kenangan, ya, oke lah. So you have -8. This is 8. Maybe okay, ya. -8 divided by 1 plus 8 plus 2. This is 16. Okay, ya. 100 minus 8 minus 8 square. 8864. Okay, ya. So you have this one. 16 kali 8 berapa sih? 68, 48, 48, 12. 128. 128 divided by 100 minus ini berapa? 648 minus 72. 100 minus 72. So you have 8 28. My question, the same questions. Gina Azaramuti. Are you awake, Gina? Kinara Devi Andita Sasti.
Yes, sir.
Kinara Devi Andita Sasti. My question is E8 less than -1 or greater than -1? You have minus 128 divided by 28. Yeah, let's say this is 100 divided by 20. So
Hello,
it
sir.
will give you less than -1 or greater than -1. To the left of -1 or to the right of -1. Kinara Devi Andita
Hello,
Sasti.
sir. Sir.
Huh?
Sorry, sir. Sir, I think 17 multiplied by 8, sir. No, 16.
17. Yes, thank you. So what's your name?
Ryan, sir.
Ryan Abdurrahman Jalins. Oke, 8756585 136. Thank you Ryan Abdurrahman Jalins for your correction. Draw. So Kinara, what happened? But it doesn't change, yeah. It doesn't change. Kinara?
Yes, sir.
So when I have this one, so E8 is less than -1 or greater than -1, between 0 to -1 or to the right or to the left of -1, this one.
To the left, sir.
To the left. So I have E8 must be greater than -1. What does the elasticity of demand, the classification, what kind of elasticity of this?
Elastic.
Very good. And what happened to the revenue if I increase the unit price?
The revenue will decrease, sir.
Very good, very good. Thank you, Kinara Devi Kinara Devi Andita Sasti. Thank you. Decrease. Okay, yeah. Okay. In the quiz, I think I'm wrong. Yeah, I should have. What happened to the revenue? I asked what happened to the profit. Yeah. What happened to the profit should be, yeah. Yeah, but you know, yeah, what happened to the revenue. I have this one the same. You just have to change it. Yeah. What happened? Okay, yeah. The fencing optimization, this one, and the last application. I have discussed this in the video. So I won't discuss about this anymore. You can look at my video, but this one is a little tricky. This one is a little tricky. You should look at this. Fencing optimization, just like in high school. But don't forget, first of all, you have to define your variable. You have to define your variable. What is X? What is Y? What is A? What is H? And so on. Don't forget, yeah? You have to define your variable. What is your variable? Because in the problem, it doesn't have any X, Y, A, Z, and so on. So you have to define your problem. And don't forget, use full sentences. Use full sentences. I will just look at this problem. Okay? This is optimization problem. Let's look at this. A cylindrical can is to be constructed to hold a fixed volume of liquid. The cost of material used for the top and bottom. Okay, so this is a closed can. For the top button of the can is 3. Okay, I can look at this as this. Cylinder can. Okay, I can open this up. So I have this one. Don't forget, this is a closed can. This is a closed cylinder can because the cost of material used for top and bottom. So the top is used and the bottom is used. Some just open cylindrical can. If I have open cylindrical can, you don't have to have the top of this. Okay, this is a closed one. You have the top and bottom. So the top is 3 cents. The top is 3 cents and the bottom is 3 cents per inch squared. Per inch squared. And the cost of material used for the curved side, this means this, is 2 cents. 2 cents per square inch. Okay. Use calculus to derive a simple relation between the radius and height of the can that is at least costly. Use calculus to derive a simple relation between the radius and the height of the can that is the least costly. The least costly. I want to find the minimum of the price. The minimum of the price. Okay, yeah. I have to define my variable here. I have to define my variable here. What should I define first? What should I define first? Rifan Septian Anwar.
Yeah, Pak.
What should I define?
The width and length.
Very good. The width. What is the width? Maybe the width will call. What do you want to say? The width. What will you define here? W maybe. Yeah. Let we be the width of this. The width of what?
The width of the rectangular.
Okay, the width of the rectangular. This means the curved side. The curved side of cylindrical can. Don't forget in inch. And then?
And then the length.
Okay. Let the length. What will you name it?
Z, sir.
Z. Why Z, not L?
Oh yeah, L. I don't know.
L be the length of the rectangular. I just copy this to make it more. Okay. And then?
And then wait. W times L equal to
No. Just define your variable first. The mathematical formulation is after this. So what other things you should define? What about this? I have to find the area of this.
The area of that.
So to find the area, you should know what?
PR square, sir.
Yeah, to find it, so you should have R be
R.
the radius of the can in inch. Okay. So what's your name? Sorry, I forgot. Your name? Who is?
Rifan.
Huh?
Rifan.
Insan?
Rifan.
Oh, Rifan Septian Anwar. But Rifan, if I have this radius, do you know what is the length of this to this? It should be the perimeter of the this circle, isn't it?
Yeah.
So you don't have to have the width.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
Okay, yeah, you can simplify this. Let L be the length of the rectangular. Yeah, you usually say the height. Yeah. Okay, thank you, Rifan Septian Anwar. Be the height of the can. Height of the can. In inch. Because this is okay, yeah. So I have this one. So the cost for constructing the curved side is Pravinindya Zayan Arundati. Pravinindya Zayan Arundati.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so I have this one, Pravinindya. So the length of this until this is given by the perimeter of the circle, yeah. The perimeter of the circle. Do you know the formula for the perimeter of the circle?
2PR.
Very good. 2PR. So I have 2PR, and the length this is given by h. Okay, yeah. So what is the area of this curved side? Pravinindya Zayan Arundati. What is the area of this with the height h and with the length 2PR?
2PR times H.
Very good, very good. So the area is 2 R H. Don't forget, this is the area, but the cost is 2 cents for every inch squared. So the cost of constructing this is how much, Pravinindya?
Four.
Huh? You have to. So if the area is 1 inch squared, the cost is 2 cents, yeah? Okay, yeah, Pravinindya?
Yeah.
If 2 inch squared, what is the price? The cost?
4.
How do you get that?
2 times 2.
Okay. So if I have the area is 4 inch squared, what is the cost?
8.
How do you get that?
4 inch times 2.
Very good. If I have the area is A, what is the cost? A inch squared. The area is given by A inch squared. A is just a variable. So what is the cost?
2.
No. If 1 inch squared, 2 cents. If 2, 2 times 2. If 3, 3 times 2. If 4, 4 times 2. If 5, 5 times 2. If A,
2A.
2A. So if the area is 2PRH, so what is the cost?
For PRH.
Yes, 2PRH times 2. Okay, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah? Pravinindya, okay, yeah?
Yeah.
Yes, thank you. So it will give you 4 pi RH. Okay. All the fixed volume of liquid. Okay, the cost for producing the curved side is 2PRH. Okay, what about the cost for constructing the top and bottom material? For top and bottom of the cake. Sabila Firajati Rahman. Sabila Firajati Rahman. Sabila, are you there? Sabila Firajati Rahman. Si Sabila mana sih? Siti Denisa Hanifah Safitri. Siti Denisa Hanifah Safitri. Ini saya pada kemana? Feiro Akbar Rafindi.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So Feiro, what is the area of this? If R is the radius, what is the area of the circle?
The top and bottom.
Yes.
It's area of a circle, pi r squared, I think.
Pi r squared. But don't forget, you have top and
Bottom
bottom. So you have,
times 2.
yes, okay. Yeah. So you have 2 pi r squared. Don't forget, you have to multiply with, don't forget, the cost of this is 3 cents per
3.
inch square. So you have to times by 3. Very good. Okay, yeah. So the total cost is, don't forget, this is dollar, yeah. Cents. And this one is PR squared. If PR squared, you have 2 pi r squared times 3, and you have 6 pi r squared cents. Okay, thank you, Feiro Rafindi, Akbar Rafindi. Thank you, Feiro Akbar Rafindi. So
Yes.
you have this, and the cost, the total cost. And the total cost, ya nggak salah ya. The total cost ya tinggal saya jumlahkan ya. The total cost saya tinggal jumlahkan. 4 pi r h plus 6 pi r squared. Okay, and I want to have let V be the fixed volume. Okay, yeah. So of course, yeah. Let V be the fixed volume. Getting the connection. The relation to make the total cost one variable. Yeah, let V be the fixed volume. So the volume is fixed. I don't know what number, but the volume is fixed. Yeah, and the volume is given by the volume is given by the volume of this is pi r squared. Okay, yeah, the area of the bottom times apa sih, luas alas dikali times the height, okay, yeah, and the V is fixed, so you have what is h is V divided by pi r squared. Let's just say V is 100 lah ya, supaya kamu nggak bingung lah. V just 100. Ya, tapi nanti kamu bingung, di soalnya nggak ada ya. Oke ya. But V is fixed. You can consider V as 100. You can just consider V as 100. So this is constant V. Pi is 3,14, a constant. The variable is h and r squared. So I have this one. Okay, yeah. And so the cost of all material is given by four pi r. What is h? V divided, don't forget, V is a constant, pi r squared plus 6 pi r squared. Now I have just a function of, so the cost of our material, let's say this V a function of R. So this is just a function of R. I can simplify this into P pi is remove R, so I have 4V divided by R plus 6 pi R squared. Okay.
Sir, may I ask,
Yes, questions?
why do we need to include the volume, sir?
Because we have to find connection, because we want to find connection such that the cost that we are dealing become just one variable.
Oh, okay.
This you have two variable, R and H, isn't it? How do you find the maximum or minimum if you have two variable? You haven't learned about that, maybe in another advanced course. But for this, if you have a certain connection, you can simplify this into just one variable, this one. By using what? Using, you have that, this one. Sorry. This one, which one? This one, fixed volume of liquid. Okay, yeah, fixed volume. So volume should be, yeah, you can just imagine this is 100 or 10, anything you want. But this is just a constant. Okay, yeah. Sorry, what's your name?
Angie, sir.
Angie. Okay, thank you, Angie. So for now, we want to thus we want to minimize CR we want to minimize CR at what interval? Yeah, R can be 0. No, R cannot be 0. R should be 0 to infinity. Yeah, okay, yeah. So you want to have the minimum of this function at interval 0 infinity. So you have the general optimization problem. Back to the general optimization problem. This one. Okay, yeah. So how do I get this? Don't forget you have to find the stationary point and you have to find the sign. Why? Because this is not a closed and bounded interval. This is not a closed and bounded interval. And you have there is no singular point. For you to have a singular point, if you have a square root function, and you don't have that. So this one, you do not have singular points. Endpoint, you don't have singular points also. So the maximum or minimum should just happen on the stationary point. Okay, yeah? And I will leave the rest to you, how you find this. Okay, yeah? This is just the same as before. This is fx. 4 times v is just a constant. You can consider this just a 10 divided by x plus 6 pi x squared. You have to find the derivative to find the stationary point and so on. You just do the same thing as we have already did. But don't forget, always divine your variable. Always divine for your variable. Okay, yeah? So any question from this? Any question from this? And you code this at example 352 at the textbook. This is on the textbook. And this is also on the textbooks, yeah. This is all on the textbook, but I have given you on the slides. Oh, I've forgotten to give you the slide. I will give you today. Okay. So if you don't have any question, we will stop here. You will have my quiz at 12:30 until 6 p.m. today. And at 1:30 p.m. you will have the quiz, the big quiz with join with another class. Okay, make sure that before 1:30 you have already logged in to the LMS ITB. tpb19.kuliah.itb.ac.id. Okay, yeah. Don't forget, in 2 weeks, we will have the midterm. Don't forget, 45%. 40%. 40% of all your grade is determined by the midterm exam. The midterm exam. I don't know whether the exam will be held on MS Team or on the, what do you say, or on LMS. But possibly at LMS ITB. So make sure you know how to do lots of things, such as the zoom in, zoom out that I have already posted at WhatsApp group. How to submit. Don't forget clicking submit. How to upload files and so on. Make sure you understand before the exam. Okay, yeah. Those who of you who haven't registered to LMS ITB, make sure you register today. I think there are still 4 of you who haven't registered. I have given you the ID number that haven't registered at the WhatsApp group. Okay, yeah. Okay. Any more questions before we end up today's lecture? So today's lecture we are just going to other application and the elasticity of demand. Usually elasticity of demand is in your midterm, yeah, from years to years usually.
Sir, may
Yes.
I ask something?
Yes, Brisa, Danila Nadia Himawan.
So I'm just confused how to find singular point if kalau nggak ada itunya, kalau nggak ada equationnya, jadi cuman ketentuannya aja kayak derivatifnya lebih gede daripada 0, cuman gitu-gitu doang. How to find?
So if you have polynomial and rational function, singular point doesn't exist. If you have square root, you have singular point.
If kalau nggak ada functionnya gimana, sir? Kayaknya nggak ada equationnya gitu.
Can you give me an example, Brisa?
I find it yesterday.